Um, Welcome to my channel, the Blaugrana Blood. So, as you know, El Clásico is on the 15th of November. And to preview that match, I have here with me Yash Thakur from the Las Blancas podcast. He's been covering Real Madrid Femenino for a long time now. And I've got one half of them. He and Kanita do the podcast there. And I've got Yash Thakur here to talk about Real Madrid Femenino this season in general, especially the preview for the Clásico on the 15th. So, Yash, hi, how are you?
Yeah, hey, hello. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I've seen you post videos about Barcelona, so it's really good to have some sort of English representation for Barcelona as well. And yeah,
Yeah,
looking forward to the Clásico as well because last time we finally got one up on you guys. So yeah, it's going to be fun this season, given the changes and everything that has happened during the summer.
yeah. I will come to that. And yeah, that was the first ever victory for Real Madrid Femenino over Barcelona, and I think it was really been sweet for you guys, to doing at Barca's home. So, and I think Caroline Weir's got a brace, if I'm not wrong. So,
Yeah, she did.
yeah, let's see what happens on Saturday. So yeah, but this time there's been a lot of changes for Real Madrid Femenino, new coach, and a lot many new signings also. So like, how would you describe the season for Real Madrid so far? Because the first game, if I'm not wrong, they drew in the league, and then they lost to Atleti in the Madrid derby 2-1. And I think in the league you have like two draws and one defeat. Uh, so Champions League, you've done quite well. You destroyed Roma, and Paris FC game. I don't know. I thought it should be an easy game for you guys, but you still needed Caroline Way to save you in the last minute. So, how would you describe the season so far?
I think this season is one of change. Like you mentioned, there have been a lot of changes in the team. There's been a new coach. There are a couple of new players. The midfield looks revamped, and honestly, when a new coach comes in, there's obviously new ideas that are going to be in play. And I think the team has taken a while to sort of adapt to, and the manager himself to sort of understand what squad he has, because initially he was playing a different formation. Now we have completely shifted to a 4-3-3 under him, with three midfielders, and earlier we used to play a 4-2-3-1 with Caroline. We are playing in that number 10 role and joining the attack as often as possible, but now it's slightly different under him. uh, if I were to talk about our season so far, I think it's a mixed bag. I have not been like very impressed, honestly. Some games, like you mentioned, against opposition which allow us space and time on the ball, we have been quite good. But our defending still has some issues, and honestly, like, the attack also isn't really clicking as well as we would like. There have been games where we have scored multiple times, and recently there has been a string of good performances. But
Yeah, yeah,
again, like last night, if you talk about Paris FC game, again a disappointment. And that has been the thing about Real Madrid, over the seasons. Like, we do so well domestically because we beat every team that we are supposed to beat, or we are
true.
expected to beat. And then when we come up against teams who are like in among the top teams in Europe, that is where we struggle, or against the big sides, if you can say, we struggle a lot. And that is where the season gets defined, basically, because those are the games that have a lot of eyes. So it changes perception. But honestly, like, it has been a slightly mixed back to a slightly disappointing season so far. Now it's going to be even tougher because we face Barcelona and then we face Arsenal,
Yeah,
as well. So it's going to be a very tough period. And it has not been a great start with the Paris FC game result, honestly. So
yeah,
let's see what happens.
yeah. And thing is, Paris FC. Yeah, I'm sorry, short of words. Uh, I'm sorry.
Do
I have lost my train of thought. Okay, so. That is fine, but my question is okay. That is done. But yeah, recently, as you said, there's been a string of performances like 5-0 one last game before that. Alhama, I think he beat 5-0. So that has been quite memorable because earlier seasons, I would say, even under Toril and a manager before that, you used to win some games uh, like you didn't used to have like Barcelona scores, 8-0 or 5-0 or 4-0. But recently I've seen Madrid do, giving those scores, So is it just a fact that because of a new coach you had a slow start and then now we are you're getting to know about him and he is getting to know the team well, the signings are gelling well. So do you think like this is going to be the upward trajectory for Madrid, or do you think there are still some kings where sometimes they're inconsistent, some games they lose? What do you think?
uh, I feel like I was quite against the appointment, honestly, because I'm not a big fan of managers being appointed who haven't had any experience managing in the women's game. So I wasn't a
Okay.
big fan of the appointment, honestly, and I still am not fully convinced. There are some good ideas that are happening. The switch to of Evan Navarro to right back because of our
Hmm.
injury issues has been a fruitful one. The usage of our youngsters has been quite good, so we have a fair few youngsters like in the team now, in the academy as well, so they have gotten the opportunity to play and showcase. We have got Iris, we have got Q Kellar, we have got Bella Anderson, we have got Hannah Benison,
Hmm.
and players who are coming up and showcasing that they are able to contribute. So that has been nice, but overall the team play and stuff hasn't been as impressive for me, honestly. And about the big score lines, I think we did have big score lines in the past as well, especially against
You
Betis and all. We did used to win big, but I think apart from winning big, it is more about how we control those games. Like, are we in control from minute 1 to minute 90, which is something that hasn't happened. I think that will be a more tangible sign of progress in my eyes than the team just winning 5-0 in one game, and then when it comes up against a big opposition struggling to find their footing. Because even against the PSG game, it was a tricky one. Yes, we
yeah.
did end up winning that game, but PSG did cause us a lot of problems on transitions and stuff. So it's still, I think, we are in the same spot where I would have hoped the team to have a better have some better performances against a difficult opposition. But I think there's still a way to go. On the outlook, I'm not I'm on the fence, honestly. Like, I still need to see more from the manager in terms of his ideas, to be able to be convinced that he is the right person to sort of lead. Because if you get 3 wins in a row, the sentiment changes to, okay, the manager is doing really well, he has now understood the
Yeah.
team. But then there's a loss or a draw, and everything comes down crumbling. I am not one of those person. I think the team has played same in all of those games. It's just that some games we have managed to pull off a big scoreline, because in even in those games, like, we have outperformed our XG massively and stuff. So there's still a lot of room for improvement, to be honest.
Okay. I have two questions. One is why was Torres sacked, and the other was why did Ola Carmona leave Madrid?
I'm not sure why Olga Carmona leave. I think there was some contract issues. Like, she wanted a fee that wasn't agreed upon, and PSG were knocking on the door. So I think Madrid just let her go. I think there wasn't anything sinister going on behind the scenes. It was just a disagreement in
Okay.
in contract situation. Because I think that is what has happened with a lot of players at Madrid in the past as well. There was Esther. Marta Cardona, Naikari, Oyane, and others as well. Like, so it has always sort of come down to contract agreements. Like with Aslani as well, I think it was the
Hmm.
uh, same situation. So that has happened. Like, I think that is part and parcel. But I think we replaced her quite well, to be honest. So not really worried about that one. And in terms of why Toril left, I think he had run his course. Uh, he came in to replace David Aznar, who
Asna.
was a manager who had experience managing in the women's game and is still doing so
In the youth
as
setup,
well.
no?
Yeah, he had done that, and he had managed Takon as well. And then
Yeah.
after that, like after getting the sack as well, he was able to manage Athletic Club as well. And we he has a clear ideology, and it would seem like I'm trying to paint Aznar in a very positive light. He had his own issues,
At
but
least
at least he had
you
yeah
could see his
experience.
vision.
Yeah, he had experience as well in managing women's dressing room and stuff. Then Toril came in. We had some decent run, but again, the biggest complaint against Toril was that our style of play was too heavily reliant on players like Caroline Weir and Linda Caicedo. I think our attack was entirely dependent on them. Like we had no ideas. We had no set structure in which we create chances when we are in settled possession. So we would always just pass the ball to Linda Caicedo and hope that she does something, or we would pass the ball to Caroline Weir and hope that she does something, because in the season where Callan Weir did her ACL as well, it was Linda Caicedo who took charge, and then we had both of them, and they were both just doing something and carrying us out of misery, which isn't an ideal situation. And we paid the price. We were 2-0 up against Arsenal from the first leg, and then we went to Emirates and we ended up losing 3-0. So defeats like this came kept piling on, because we did not defeat many big teams during this time. We never beat Chelsea, we never beat PSG. We've At the end we finally managed to beat Barcelona. We struggled against Arsenal as well in the second leg. So big game performances is a big factor. In the season before that, in the Champions League, before he got sacked as well, we were quite poor, losing against Haken, dropping points
Yeah, your
against
group, no, you
Bayern.
didn't even pass the group stage. That was quite disappointing.
Yeah. So yeah, all these things like kept mounting, and I think it was the right decision. It was a little too late as well. I think it was a season too late, but it was the right call to change the manager.
Okay. No, why I asked was that he had brought Madrid to, the first season he came, if I'm not wrong, 21-22, he took Madrid to the quarterfinals where they lost to Barca. And again, this season, like last season, he had brought them the quarterfinals again. Like that was the highest Madrid have ever reached. I mean, the highest Madrid reached in the Champions League. And even in the league, the gap had like reduced below 10 points and they had beaten Barcelona. So in terms of overall, I know it's not everything or something, but in terms of overall improvement, I thought at least results wise, it didn't seem that bad. So from the outside, it seemed a bit strange that he was sacked, but yes, I can understand why he was sacked. So that's why I asked. And speaking of replacing Carmen Ivanova, let's talk about her. I mean, she has been really great. I've been following Madrid, and I think she has been one of the standout players for you guys, and also like she has also started becoming prominent for the Spanish national team. So, talk about Eva Navarro.
Yeah, I think Evan's transition is a very funny one. Honestly, nobody saw it coming. It was out of necessity, because both of our right backs were injured. So we needed somebody to play in that position, and manager just put Eva Navarro there, and then like sort of we have changed our style of play to accommodate for her. So whenever Eva has started at right back, we have had somebody, whoever is playing on the right wing, to operate slightly narrower to open up that yard of space for Eva Navarro to run onto. And I think that has helped Eva Navarro as well, because she's the sort of player who likes that yard of space, likes to take on the opposition, likes to put in those crosses. And I think having her overlapping the winger consistently and creating that space in the wide areas is something that has been fruitful for the team and fruitful for her individual performance as well, because now she is put in a yard of space with time on her hand to pick her crosses. And I think that is where her strength lied back when she played for Levante as well, back when she played for Atleti as well. So this is a player that it's just a, I don't know, a very happy coincidence that it has worked out, but it was a surprise at the time to see her being put at as the right back of the team.
Yeah, that's good. What about Sartrasil? Like she has come in midfield. She left Olympic Lyon and she has joined you guys. How has she been faring?
She has been okay. I think, yeah, like there have been some moments where she has come clutch, especially that Atleti game where she scored the equalizer from the free kick. So she is
Mm.
capable. Like there is no doubt about her quality. She has been one of the top midfielders for a while now, but then injuries happened and everything, and she was struggling a little bit to find that form. And I think she has been okay. She's one of the key players in the team as well, like off the bench. So I think the pecking order is Angeldal, Toletti, and Sara Debritz in that order probably for our midfield. So for the two spots in our midfield, because I think one of them is taken by Caroline Weir as well. So it's nice to have that sort of quality, that sort of experience in the squad, because as I said, that we have a lot of youngsters in the team as well, so that helps the youngsters progress as well. So yeah, I think she is doing her role quite well. She has been contributing on and off the pitch.
So, like, how would you say the team has changed from Toril to Quesada? Like, with respect to tactics, with respect to mentality, and with respect to, developing players.
Yeah, so I think one positive change has been, like I said, the usage of the youth players, because a lot of the young players are getting minutes. We have seen Paula Comendador play regularly. We have seen Iris play regularly. We have seen Bella Anderson get some valuable minutes as well. And then we have signed Q Killar, who plays on the right wing and has been quite impressive in her starts as well. So it's been quite nice, to be very honest. Like that part is really good in terms of the tactical change. I mentioned, like, he has changed the shape of the team. We aren't pressing as high as we used to against Toril, or as intensely as we used to under Toril. Where we had a 4-4-2 with Weir and Brune, who used to press the opposition and direct play to one side and then try to cram the opposition and win the ball. But under him, like, we take a slightly conservative approach in the 4-3-3. Like we fall back in a mid block, and direct traffic to wide areas by blocking the central zones, and then try to win the ball there. The press has been less intense, but I think the results have fared. I think one of the common things that has passed on between managers at Real Madrid has been our inability to sort of defend set pieces. We have been quite poor defending set pieces, and I think we still continue to do that, even though, like, we have height on the bench to be able to compensate for that, and a goalkeeper change as well. But yeah, I think that situation still remains the same, unfortunately.
Mm. One more thing is that with respect to tactics, last season, Arsenal in that Arsenal game in the away leg for you guys, that is in the Emirates, they are constantly trying to cross the ball into the box. I think it was found out that there was a weakness with respect to defending crosses from from the right wing, that is from Chloe Kelly. And even Barca tried that the Clásico before that game. Even Barca tried, crossing, spamming crosses into the box. Although it wasn't, they weren't able to convert it. Arsenal were able to convert it in the second half. Although, so do you think, like, why do you think there is a weakness in defending corners? You said set pieces, but with respect to open play crosses, why do you think there was a weakness, and do you think it still exists this season?
Yeah, I think it still exists. It's more of a structural issue about how the team is organized off the ball, and how much spaces we offer to the opposition on the wide areas to put in those balls. I think earlier in the season, like in the last season, with Olga Carmona, Olga was struggling defensively as well. Like you have to understand, like, Olga has transitioned into a full-time fullback for a while
Mm.
now at Madrid, but she started her career as the as a winger or as a wing back, so she has more proclivity to join attacks and bomb into attacks, and often, like, leaves those spaces, and isn't wasn't the most assured player in 1v1 dueling situations. But I think that has changed. We have Yasmin and Sarah Homegaard, who are quite an improvement defensively, I would say, over the current Olga Carmona that we had. Like her development did not go as planned, unfortunately. So that has slightly improved, but again, like with the way we deal with crosses, it's more of a structural thing. It's more of a how much, like I said, how much time we allow the opposition to put in those balls, and I think that has still been the case. So it's still an issue. It's still a problem for us to deal with set pieces and crosses.
Okay. So, like, what about mentality? Because even in the Arsenal game last season, even though you had the lead, like from the first, like Real Madrid they just came there to park the bus and somehow leave with a draw or even a 1-0 loss. They never tried to counter attack teams. Even Real Madrid, man, even though sometimes they used to park the bus, the counter attacks used to be very lethal. But last season against Arsenal, they were just cooped up. They were tried attacking. Even when they got the ball, they just hoofed it off, and they allowed Arsenal to keep attacking over and over again. So I'm asking it because again, there's Arsenal. It's like the same set of games. Last time we had the Clásico and then the Arsenal game. Again, you have the Clásico and the Arsenal game. So do you think is there a mentality shift? Do you think Madrid it does not matter whether they lose or not, whether they win or lose, but do you think there is a mentality shift like Madrid would be more braver? Would you think, or do you think it's still the same?
I think it's
Braver
too
respect.
early. I think it's too early to say because we haven't been put in those sort of position under the new manager to say how the team has changed, sort of, uh, to gauge that yet. But I think you know you have to also understand the context. Yes, we have talented players and everything, but we were in uncharted territory last season when we were in the lead in the quarterfinals first leg, and then we were going to defend the league away at a stadium where you have a sold out stadium with all the fans. It was a very difficult it is a very difficult place to travel to in general, and it was very difficult for a team that is hoping to make the semifinals for the first time as well. So there was that part as well playing on. I did not like the way we were set up and everything. I'm not defending that, but I think there was some contextual element missing in when trying to judge that. I think mentality wise, again, as I said, it's too early to say, but we will see in these big games how we perform. Are we proactive, or are we sort of go into defensive mode again? It will have to be seen. So let's see, I mean, what happens.
Okay. So okay. Okay. Now let's come to Barca. It has been a very, let's say, a negative start to the season, not on the field, but off the field. Coming off the Champions League loss and then the Euro loss, because most of the Spanish members are from Barcelona. So it was quite negative for them. And then there were calls about, Pere Romeo has to be sacked. Why is he there? Like he does nothing. It's only the players who have brought the team to the final, and there's all of that. And then to add fuel to the fire, there was FFP issues, and then Barca had to sell lot many players or terminate the contracts. They had to sell Yana, Lucia Corrales, Frieden Rodolfo, Engen left to Leon for free. So there's a lot of exodus of players. Although the core, the starting 11, the strongest, team, that is still there, but many of the backups have left, and they are very good backups, to be honest. So combined all of that, and which left Barca with quite a lean squad. There was even more negativity towards the board, towards Mark Vivas, who's the sporting director, whether he is even better, he even knows what he's doing against Pere Romeo. Like, does he even know what he's doing? So it was quite negative. But the league, eh, on the field, they were quite good, because last season I remember the first game, if I'm not wrong, they played against Sevilla, and the first like 45 minutes was one of the worst 45 minutes I've seen Barca play, and it was understandable because Pere had just come as the new coach. But even then, he had started Kika and some other youngsters. He did not start Alexei and Aitan in midfield. This is last season first game I'm talking about. So yeah, there was no connection. There was nothing. Like they were stuck. Even though the score was nil, Barca were playing atrocious football. They're passing here and there. The players had no chemistry. They did not know whom they're going to pass. Misplaced passes. Everything was bad. And then Aitan Alexia came and made they won the game. So it took time for them, and then they lost the City game last season. That was also a big bummer. But after that, they improved. And last season, the major problem for Barca was the defense. Like, even though they used to score like 8 goals, 7 goals, or 5 goals, they used to concede at least 1 goal in most of the games in the league. Like some and most, and there was also a pattern that they used to concede the goal in the first 5-10 minutes, and then after that they had to step up and score more goals. So that was also a problem. But that gradually went away as the season progressed, and clean sheets became more of a normal, more of a regular thing. And like last season, like it was the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Like I never expected Barca to thrash Chelsea 8-2 on aggregate. Like not even my list teams. My if you ask me what I would result I would have taken before the semi-final started, I would said 3-0 on aggregate or maybe a 4-1 on aggregate. Thank you very much. But 8-2 was unbelievable. Like I've never expected that to happen. And then I did not expect Barca to lose to Arsenal, to be honest. And like Arsenal fans are giving a shit, and obviously so. But honestly, like Arsenal were 12 points behind Chelsea. They lost home and away to Chelsea. And the last 3 games, they lost 4-0, 5-0, something like that to Aston Villa and Brighton. So obviously, when you have a Barca team to scoring 44 goals in the Champions League, 100 plus goals in the league, and destroyed the invincible champions of the best league in Europe. So obviously, we'll be confident of beating Arsenal, but Arsenal put on the performance of their lives and they won it. So fair enough. So yeah, that was a low. But this season, the difference I would say is defense has been really, really good. Like last season, whenever the opponents used to attack, like I was really afraid, but are they going to score a goal? Like uh, transition was a very big problem. But this season, that has not been the case. Even if they do try to attack, they just pass the defender, some of get the ball back. So that has not been a problem. So defense has been tightened, and that shows in the league. We have considered 2 goals in the league and one in the Champions League. So that is that. But the Sociedad loss really hurt us, and again that is where the squad depth comes into play. Patry was injured. Payer was missing. Payer did not play that game. Salma was injured. So and Kika was also injured for the game. She had a minor injury. So that is where the squad depth came into play. And yes, I think you must have noticed the Sociedad are playing really well. They are in the top four, if I'm not wrong. Like, why do you think there's any particular reason or just random?
Yeah, I think
What do
it's
you think that?
Arturo because
Yeah.
he was the manager at Granada last season. They finished fifth. So he has taken over Real Sociedad, got in a couple of good signings. Edna Imade has been again phenomenal under him, who played really well under him at Granada as well. Scored a lot of goals. So it's Arturo Ruiz. I think I had written about him that Real Sociedad would be the one to watch with Arturo Ruiz this season
Uh,
because last season what he did with Granada and with lesser resources. So I think that is what is happening.
yeah, they played really well. Like they defensively, they're very resolute, and Barca couldn't do anything. Yeah, although they did have injuries, like many games, even with those injuries, they used to win games somehow. But Sociedad held firm and they won. But after that, again, it was business as usual. 8 goals in the first half, and the Champions League they won 3-0. So yeah, like they are strong. They're still strong. They're still dominant. But there are some frailties, mainly the squad depth, and sometimes that could also be the reason that if there's also the consensus that there's no plan B. Like sometimes when the starting 11 is not able to score goals, who is going to come off the bench and score? Yes, we have some players like Ika and Vicky Lopez of the kind, but there are not way too many players to make that impact from the bench. So that is a cause of concern. Uh, like see, when you lose a final, obviously people are going to call for the head of the coach. This happened to Giraldes as well. He lost the first Champions League final to Lyon, and that is even more brutal. Like they were 3-0 down in the first 30 minutes. So this is at least a 1-0 loss, and it came like 70th minute. So even people were calling for his head back then, and they went on to win two Champions Leagues back to back. So I'm not worried about that. I think Pereira has done a very good job with the resources he has had. Last season, yes, he should have beaten Arsenal, but they did not beat it. And there's also the trend of underdogs winning uh, games this year. In cricket, RCB men won their first IPL, Spurs won their first Europa League, Chelsea men winning the Club World Cup, beating PSG, who are like the outright favorites to win the whole tournament. They beat them 3-0. So yeah, crazy thing. And Crystal Palace winning trophies left and right. So yeah, crazy things are happening this year. But yeah, they lost to Arsenal. That's the thing. But this season they are with the limited resources he has, and also our assistant coach. I think you will have known. Assistant coach has left to coach the Switzerland national team. So he has gone now. So there's been a lot of exodus. So with the limited resources he has had, he has done a commendable job. So that is Barca's you know journey so far. And we also have, after the Clásico, we also have Chelsea, and you guys have Arsenal. So yeah, again the WS. I hope for Liga's sake both of our teams do well, honestly, because Atleti is an absolute joke. I don't know what the. I'm going to swear. I don't care. What the fuck are they doing? They're losing to United. I mean, United is a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I think you would have watched the match, or at least highlights of it. They were struggling. United were pressing them all over the place, and they were struggling to even get the ball out of their own half. And then when United get women down, the 10 people, and then they managed to fuck up even more. Like it was a disgrace. And yesterday they again lost to Juventus at home. Like I don't know what the fuck Athletic is doing. They seem to have improved, but it's already we have the tag of Farmers League, and when Athletic the shit like this, I don't know what to say. At least for that reason, I hope you guys beat Arsenal. At least come away with a draw, and hopefully we guys beat Chelsea once more. To humiliate them even more. So that is the thing. So all jokes apart, both of our teams have difficult games after the Clásico. So I suppose both of the teams would bring in this like starting 11. I don't think much rotation. At least from Barca side, I don't think there's going to be much rotation. It's not like we have players to rotate anyway, but even then. Uh, so do you think Madrid might, bring in some rotations, keeping the Arsenal game in mind, or do you think they're going to come in for like full strength for this Clásico?
I think it has to be full strength. Like we are very early on in the season. I feel there isn't any need to sort of rotate at this point in time. Like minute management and everything comes into play in the second half of the season. Honestly, like here players can play two consecutive games of high intensity. I think at the moment. So I'm not. I don't think there will be any rotation. Yes, there might be tactical tweaks and one or two players might sit out due to tactical reasons, but it won't be rotation on either of the games, or at least I don't hope so.
And you signed a new goalkeeper, Marla Froms, and if I'm not wrong, she suffered a PCL injury. So like she's going to be out for long, I guess, maybe December, Jan, or maybe even longer. So how?
Yeah, I think she's out for a while. So I think we are now back with Misa in goal.
Misa. So like how big of a loss is she, or like is it too early to gauge a performances? So based on what you've seen, like how would you rate Froms?
No, I mean, I've known from her time in Wolfsburg as well. Like, I think she is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Like, no joke. She suffered an injury, and that is why she was like out of the Wolfsburg team. And then the Wolfsburg manager chose to go with someone else over her. And I think like for a brief period of time was considered one of the best goalkeepers. And I think she has shown once again that she is back at that level in the games, because there have been games where we played really really bad and we could have drawn or we could have dropped points in those games, and from single-handedly sort of saved the game for us multiple times, from close range, from long ranges, with her cross collection. She is just very very good.
So for the Clásico, it's the same. Uh, it's at the same place where last Clásico was at. So Barca lost that 3-1. It's at the same place. So like Barca don't have Patry and they don't have Salma, and Payer and Kika have come back thankfully. So Laya Lashandri mostly is going to take Patry's place. Otherwise, I think the starting 11 is going to be the same. Graham Hansen, Payo, Pina, ALA in midfield, Ona, Mapili on Irene Paredes, and then Brutes, and then Catacol. Uh, what do you think Real Madrid's starting 11 could be for the Clásico?
So I think defense like picks itself. I think Yasmin will be starting as the left back. Center back would be Lacrar and Maria Mendes, and right back would be Eva Navarro with Misa in goal. The midfield three, uh, I expect it to be Angeldal, Sara Debritz, and Weir because Toletti is out with a hamstring injury. I think she won't be
Okay.
available. And the front three is where a lot of changes happen, but it could be Linda Caicedo. I hope it's Q Killer on the right hand side, and we get Alba Redondo starting as the striker. So either that, or we might see if Naomi Feller
Hmm.
start up
Senior
front as
Brun?
well.
Not
Senior
Senior
Brune
Brun?
has been sort of out of favor under the new manager.
Oh,
Like now, yeah. So Senior Brune is on the bench most of the times now. So yeah, that is the
any
situation
reason?
current.
Because she was good last season, no? Senior Brun.
She was good. I think it's the play style sort of that is the major driving force for this. I think he just prefers a different brand of striker at the moment, somebody who drops deep and can act as a 10 and play for the wide players to attack inside, to play those through
Hmm.
balls
Hmm.
from slightly withdrawn positions. Senior Brune is not that sort of striker. Senior Brune will play a 1-2 and quickly run in behind herself. But Alba Redondo can do that, so we might see Alba Redondo there once again.
Do you think the dependence on Caicedo and Ware has decreased? I mean,
No.
obviously they are like two.
No. I think like it's still heavily reliant. I think you take them out, and that is why, like I say, there is a lack of structure and in terms of how we create from settled possession. And I think that is the issue. Like that is still there. That is still there.
Okay, all right.
Hmm.
So like, how do you think like Real Madrid is going to trouble Barca? I mean, you're the stats guy, you're the technical guy. So what do you think?
I think at this point in time, Barcelona are vulnerable. Like not having Patri is a bigger loss than people are ready to admit. I think
Yeah.
yes, Laia Alexandri has taken her place, but I think she forms an irreplaceable part in that tactical scheme. To be very honest, both in possession and out of possession. So I think that whole having Caroline Weir play there and having Sarah Debritz as well, trying to do bits from those spaces in behind or in between those midfield and defensive lines will be quite interesting. We can look to overload that particular player and that particular position with having Linda Caicedo come in narrow as well. So that could be a really interesting bit to observe, and I think that is where a lot of the things will be decided. I'm also like curious to see what happens in the midfield if we have Pina, Alexia Putellas, and Esme Brooks all starting on the left hand side. I think that is an area that I've observed Barcelona to be quite leaky with defensively, and that is an area that I would like for us to have Lotte Kukelar in, because Kukelar is a very direct sort of winger who loves to take on, and in case of a turnover on that side, I think that could be an avenue for Real Madrid to sort of uh, hurt the opposition. So I'm looking forward to these two areas in particular where Madrid would look to sort of create some advantages.
But will he start her though? Because she's quite young. You think he doesn't care about age and stuff? Like he does not have favorites. He's going to start her for a big game.
I think Qkiller has come in with a heavy price tag as well, and Qkiller has performed well in recent times. I think that is one thing that he has been quite good about that, giving minutes to the youngsters, even even in tougher games. So I'm not sure if she will start, but I hope that she does, because I think she can cause a lot of problems. And if not, I think she at least gets some significant minutes in this game.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think that's about it. So what do you think the score prediction? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I don't like doing score predictions because I feel like
Ah,
I'll always jinx it. So I'll let me just say I think Barcelona winning 3-1 maybe.
come on, man. You just won the first Clásico, and don't be all humble, okay?
No, I think Barcelona will win. We'll see. 3-1 Barcelona, I think.
Oh, come on, man. You're no fun. I expected some banter, saying we beat you last
No.
time, we're gonna beat you again. Come
Two.
on, man.
No, I'm also worried about jinxing my own team, which I don't want. I would rather be
Come on,
happy
man. You're a
after the
stats
game.
guy. You post all sort of stats on Twitter, and you're like so superstitious. What is this?
Yes, yes, I am very superstitious because my team has let me down before, so I'm not taking any chances here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Before I tell mine, what do you think about the new system that Liga F has brought in? Because there's been a lot of I don't know if you followed this in WSL, this Chelsea Arsenal game. Lot of controversy regarding the referee, giving disallowed goals, not giving offside goals, giving offside goals. In Liga F, they brought in VAR light. So, do you have any
Yeah.
thoughts about that?
It's interesting, it's fun, honestly, like because our manager has sort of wasted those reviews a lot of the times. But it's interesting because it gives you the option to challenge a decision, and challenge a contentious decision, which is fun. So we'll see how it progresses over the season. So far, like, I've enjoyed it. I think it's a nice addition to the game. The stoppages are a
Yeah.
buzzkill, but it's still like we might slightly get some better decisions, some correct calls than because refereeing in Liga F has been quite honestly very horrendous. So I
Yeah.
think we might see some improvements at least.
Yeah, this birth of this is because the Ana Fernandez disallowed goal last season. I think that was the birth of the VAR light coming in, and that it caused a big head loss among us. So yeah, it's a good thing that this time that can like if Madrid win, it will be because they actually beat Barca, not because there's disallowed goals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. That is good to think. But yeah, it was nice seeing the head loss among WSL fans. Still controversies among referees. They call best league in the world. They don't even have VAR light. Yeah, at least we can say we have VAR light. We are better than you. So yeah, I would say 3-0. I mean, they still have the players to hurt Madrid, and they have revenge in their eyes, and they did not like what happened last time. It was quite cinematic though last time, because after they lost, it started raining, and there was a
Yeah, yeah,
shot.
yeah,
Yeah, it was they were zooming out, and then Mappy was walking in the rain. It was quite cinematic to watch. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
I was angry, but I was also that scene was very cinematic. I don't know like I don't know how to react, because it was kind of beautiful to watch. It was like watching a movie, a
yeah.
tragic moment in a movie, but yeah, it was very tragic last time. So I think jokes apart, yeah, I think Madrid still have like Madrid are a strong team. No, I'm not gonna lie about that, but I think Barca have enough in them to beat Madrid. So I would say a 3-0 scoreline. So if you have anything else, we can talk about it, or else, yeah, I think we can end it here.
Yeah, nothing, bro. Like, I think this was a good preview for both the sides. Like, so yeah, I mean, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming, man. I think let this be the first of many, and hopefully we can continue to talk about many more Clásicos and Liga F in general, because Spanish football it's great actually. Like the problem with others is that they see Barcelona dominating. They think it's just, yeah, okay, it is a one club team. I mean, one club league for that at the moment, but there are so many games which are quite interesting to watch. But they
Yeah, yeah,
just see the score lines. They don't even watch the highlights. They just see the score lines, and they yeah, Farmers League. That's it. It's so easy. They don't see the amount of haram ball teams play against Barca and Madrid. It's so difficult to beat these low blocks, man. It's so difficult. Like only if you watch it, you'll understand how difficult it is to beat this. They just say it's very easily Farmers League, any team can come in. I don't know if you watched this, like many people in Twitter, they're calculating how many goals like like the Barca players would have scored in WSL. They have they randomly say that one WSL goal equals 1.6 Liga F goals. I don't know. And then they say that Power would have scored 25 WSL goals, which is still more than what Russo scored. So
Yeah, which is
I don't know,
still,
man.
I think, which would still be a record. I think a
Yeah, she
WSL
would
record.
still win the Golden Boot anyway. So I don't know. They're trying
Mm.
all sorts of mental gymnastics to somehow, talk shit about Barca and Lega in general. So yeah,
Yes.
I think it's good that we at least I think when we talk about like this, you talk to other WSL fans, they'll get a perspective of what they don't watch, and then they just comment on stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for coming, man. Thank you for talking with me. Hopefully, this is the start of many more previews and reviews about it. So yeah, thank you for coming, and thank you to the fans for watching. We'll see you again after the Clásico.
Yeah.
Mate, just 1 minute.